Hi. Kind of nervous for this. I don't even know why. What's up guys, it's me obviously, and today, I don't know why I rose my eyebrows like that, sorry. Today I'm doing a coming out, like my coming out story. It's not like super dramatic. I was emotional just because I didn't like want to say it to my parents. But yeah, it's not like I'm gonna cry. Maybe I might cry, who knows, we don't know. So I'm just gonna explain like what led up to it and how basically how they found out. Alright, so we're just gonna start off with that I had a crush on this girl, and it was since like October. We never really like noticed each other. She was in my art class. I'm not gonna name her name. We did end up being together and now we aren't together anymore, so I just don't want to put her on blast or anything. But basically, I really wanted to like talk to her. I'm not allowed to have Instagram. Alright, let's start off with that. She had DM'd me on Instagram because I had an Instagram, and nobody knew I wasn't allowed to have it, and she didn't know me, so like there was no way she was gonna know I couldn't have Instagram. So she DM'd me, and I didn't see it ever because I can't see my DMs. She came up to me like at school. Like we had been smiling at each other for a while, and that's pretty much the extent it went to. We just smiled at each other from across the room. And then she ended up handing me gum, and then later on told me, hey, I DM'd you and you never answered me. And I was like, I don't have Instagram. And she was like, well, is there anything I can talk to you on? And I was like, no. And so, how did she get my number? How did I give her my number? I don't even remember how we exchanged numbers. That part is just gone. Okay, so she DM'd me, and so I was like, alright, and I downloaded Instagram on my phone. So I DM'd her back, and we ended up like DMing every morning and whatever. And then my dad blocked Instagram on it because he was trying to like see who was going on it. And yeah, it's complicated. We went to a family gathering, and I had my phone, and on their internet, obviously Instagram isn't blocked, so I connected to their internet. I got on Instagram and I was DMing her like all night. Like all night I was DMing her. My parents were like obviously suspicious because I was on my phone so much, and I don't have anything to do on my phone, so it was kind of like, what are you doing on your phone that's so interesting? And so they knew what I was doing because, stupid me, I was sitting like this, and behind me is this humongous window, like you know the Spanish style that it's like this, right behind me. And my mom went outside, and I was so distracted, I didn't see that she was right behind me. She saw what I was doing. She saw that I was on Instagram DMing this girl. They let me have my fun. They let me be on Instagram. They let me DM her all night. And then we got home. They were like, come here. And I was like I knew I did something wrong, so I was just kind of like, oh my god, what, you know? So they were like, so what were you doing on your phone? And I was like, nothing. My instinct was to lie. I kept saying nothing, and they were like, so you went on Instagram? And I was like, yeah. After I had just lied. Then they were like, so what were you doing? And I was like, just looking at funny videos. And my mom knew I was DMing this girl. So she was like, so you weren't texting anyone? Like you weren't texting her name? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, so why would you want to get in trouble just so you could talk to her? And I was like, I don't know, I just really wanted to talk to her, you know, like she's my friend. She was like, so there's nothing else? And I was like, no, like I was just DMing her. Remember, just like very detailed, I don't remember because I was crying because I knew she was about to find something out. And so then she got my Instagram, I got in trouble for Instagram. I got my phone taken away. She was like, so there's nothing else you want to tell me? And I was like, no. And she was like, are you sure? And I was like, can I go? And she's like, no. And like before any of this, I had been talking about this girl, like bringing her up, like, oh, blah 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 did this, and like, oh, we talked about this, and like we hung out today. I've always like hinted that I liked girls, but I didn't ever say it. They were just kind of like skeptical, but they didn't know. And then basically they were like, when I got in trouble to text a girl on Instagram, she was like, all right, well just sit here, because I didn't want to tell her. But I did want to tell her at the same time. I was just kind of scared to say it, so I was just like, no, I don't want to, but then I did at the same time. Yeah, that's literally what happened. Like, I was just like, no, like, they're not gonna believe me. And from before then, I knew I liked girls. Like, I just kind of was like, you know, I had a crush on my friend who lived like 3 houses down from where I lived at the time. And I didn't know what it was. I just knew like, oh, she's so pretty, and like I would like totally hold her hand. Like I was in 2nd grade, so I don't know. Alright, so right here, I'm talking about when I was like in 2nd grade, I liked this girl who lived down the street from me. So when I'm saying from then is from when I was little. I was like
how old are you, whatever age you're in second grade, I don't know.
I had, I'm gonna make a whole different story on how I knew, because not even my mom knows what happened and why I knew. But anyways, we sat there for maybe an hour and a half, and I'm crying, and I'm like, no, you're not gonna believe me. Why am I gonna tell you if you're not gonna believe me? There's no, like, legit, I kept saying, there's no point in me telling you if you're not gonna believe. She's like, we aren't gonna be mad. And my dad has no idea. She has not said anything to him. She has not hinted to him that she knows. My mom knew. You know, like the mom instinct, you just kind of know that was her, and so she knew. I just kept on saying, there's no point, you're not gonna believe me, you're gonna get mad at me, you're gonna say that's a lie. Second grade to like 8th grade, I was so boy crazy. Like, I was like with guys. I just remember just liking guys a lot, and I just thought they were cute. I don't really know. I have always gotten in trouble for texting a guy when I know I'm not allowed to text guys, and for being with a guy, and a guy is the reason I got homeschooled. So, well, part of the reason I got homeschooled was a guy's. Second part was my fault. Yeah, so I didn't think they were gonna believe me because they knew my history with guys, they knew what was like going on and stuff I did. And then finally I was getting fed up, and I was like, I just want to go to bed. So I was like, I'm gay, I like girls. And my dad this whole time was thinking I was pregnant or something, and that my mom knew, and that I didn't tell him, and that I was scared to tell him. No, there's no chance of me being pregnant, I promise. He was like, oh my god, I thought you were pregnant or something. And I was like, no. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was because I wanted to text a girl on Instagram, and I knew I wasn't allowed to have Instagram. My coming out was emotional, and like my mom didn't care, neither did my dad. They were just like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, I thought you weren't gonna believe me. And at first they were kind of like, oh, so we don't let you date guys, so you're gonna date girls now? And I'm like, no, that's not what happened. And now they're just like, whatever. Yeah, my parents are accepting. So grateful for that, because there's situations with so many other people that like they aren't accepted by their parents, and like so much stuff happens with them. And I'm grateful that my parents accept me the way I am and my sexual orientation. Yeah, that's my coming out story. My parents just gave me a hug, and I went to bed, and I was just like, I'm stupid, why didn't I just tell them a year ago? But so yeah, there's not much to it. Not like a cake or something. It was just like I got in trouble for being on Instagram texting a girl, and they basically just connected the dots, and all of the things I said that made them connect the dots, like just like random things. And like I always found like girls on like shows or something like really cute, and like I didn't really talk about the guys. So if you can just connect that, I mean, that's that. I'm single now. I'm just chilling. I don't really plan on being with anyone else right now. Not that interesting, but someone asked for it, and that got like 40 likes or something, so I mean, might as well. Sorry if you're disappointed. You expected like this huge story and like me to be sobbing. I always just had the worst case scenario in my head, and I always do with everything. I have school in 5 days, and I'm terrified. One, because my ex is there.
I say because my ex is there just because it's kind of like, you know, you haven't seen your ex in a while, you're gonna see them, you're just kind of like scared to see them. I'm not saying like she's horrible, I'm just saying like just scared, you know? I don't know. If you understand, you understand. 2, because it's school, and 3, I am a junior. Junior year is like the most stressful year according to juniors, which I believe. I don't know, I feel like this is kind of everywhere. Like I didn't really explain things. I don't know. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below any more videos you want to see. I don't know. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Do you want to do? I want to see you in the next one. Bye.
I like when it gets really dark in the background. Can you tell?
Alright, so this video I'm about to insert, my mom showed me, and it was the most hilarious thing of my entire existence, and so I need to insert it. I don't know. I want to insert it, so I need to insert it, and here it is.
This song was taught to us by our very own pastor, Pastor James, when we was just this little.
Free Pastor James!
My man loves me. He provides for me. He protects me.